Hi, we're Louder Than Bangtan podcast. I'm Ava.
I'm Naina.
And I'm Ines. Before we get started with this episode, we'd like to say we are in no way affiliated with BTS nor Big Hit. All opinions stated are completely our own and therefore entertainment purposes only.
This week with Bangtan. Considering the week we've just had, I think we should start off with a little recap of all the things that have happened.
Yeah.
One thing I do want to mention is that we did make a mistake in our last podcast, our first podcast, where we said that in the UK you couldn't get merch. We're just idiots and can't read.
We literally clowned ourselves.
Yeah, there was some restrictions in some countries. I'm not sure which ones. Don't come for me. But UK was one that you could get shipped to. But either way,
yes,
they released more merch, the second part, and they made the first batch available to everyone, even if you don't have Army membership. And let's just say we went crazy and may have bought too much.
Yeah, definitely money was spent.
Not complaining, but complaining, you know?
Well, we had to spend money because we had to fill a certain void that was left empty because of a certain announcement that we got. What was that?
So the void we had was tour was officially
Postponed.
I want to say cancelled, but not really. It's been completely postponed.
Postponed indefinitely.
So we don't know when it's going to be. I don't think Big Hit even knows when it's going to be.
Yeah.
It's really up to the world.
Yeah.
It's not
What
up to the
happens.
what? Miss Rona.
I know, right?
Like,
Well, yeah, it's up to how things go down.
ma'am, I'm gonna need
But-
you to get with it. Leave the stage. We have a tour to get to, please.
We're done with you at this point. Can you just, stop?
Thank you.
But yeah, it really ruined all the BTS plans that we had.
Yeah.
But
Unfortunately.
we move. We've got merch now.
Yeah.
And that's going to be shipped
In June.
middle of June, I
Yeah.
think. So should arrive end of June for us.
I feel like everyone literally, the announcement came the day before Europe sales, so they were postponed. Japan was postponed, and everybody
Yeah.
had this like massive void to fill. The next day, literally, I think it was 3 a.m. UK time.
merch came out first.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
3 a.m. UK time, the merch, like, the second drop was announced, and everybody was like,
Yeah.
tour money, this is where it's going towards. Merch
Trust
and
me.
merch only, and give it to me now, because I'm sad.
We'll think about tour in months whenever it apparently is going to take
Months,
place.
years.
But right now,
Yeah.
merch is the only thing getting me through.
If anything, it gives you guys more time to save up
Yeah.
for the tour that will eventually happen. Fingers crossed.
Yeah, that's what
Yes.
that's what I was thinking, like, it's a little bit a blessing in disguise, not Miss Rona situation, but tour being postponed.
No.
Because, like, it gives more people to save up, so there's more chances of seeing them more time. And then it also gives Bangtan a little rest period, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there'll be more...
And it's going to be bigger and better when
Exactly.
they come back.
I just know the energy that they're going to, like, throw on stage because they weren't able to this tour. It's going to be mental.
And the energy they're going to get back, it's going to be mad.
I feel
Mad
like,
energy.
You know, like those memes where it's like, I love you. No, I love you more. No, I love you more. I feel like that's the entirety of next tour. It's just going to be us competing with each other, like showing who loves who more.
Yeah.
And I'm excited.
Well, they ain't going to beat me. They ain't going to beat me.
Honey, you've got a storm coming.
Ooh. Okay, so moving on from the uncertainty of tour, what do we have next?
Well, something really big happened in the last 2 weeks.
A milestone, some would
A
say.
huge milestone. BTS Run, reached its 100th episode.
Woo!
Little clap, little clap, little clap. Love that for them. It was...
Congrats, boys.
It was great. Boys and V-Live, like, you did a sick job. They looked like they were having so much fun. Like, I could not stop laughing. I was crying with laughter.
I also love the editing and the way it's done, and I honestly never want it to change because the way that they do stuff is so funny.
Yeah, I agree 100%.
Like,
It's, honestly, my favourite show ever.
It really is. And we were like, I don't think anybody was expecting something like really grand, but they went all out.
I know, no expense was spared.
No, hired a stadium, had a huge ass banner, multiple different
Presents?
presents. went all out.
And also, may I just add, the presents they were wearing were... Oh, no, the presents they were wearing. The presents that they received, the photos, were from Wembley.
Oof.
Cute.
Oof.
So, London / anyone at
saying,
Wembley.
UK armies are a little bit gassed, but we're a little bit gassed.
Yeah, we may be humbly gassed.
Like, what can we do? It's Wembley. Like, I mean, come on now. Thank you. I hope they've hung that up in their bedrooms and they're like, yeah.
I really hope so.
Wembley.
Stunning photos, though.
Never forget. The photos were amazing. Like,
Yeah.
I would want them. Shit.
Oh, I want them for sure. Are they selling? Hit me up.
V-Live,
BTS.
let me know. Bangtan, let me know. More
Send me
money
your
to
eBay
pockets.
links now.
Thank you. Run reached its 100th episode and then it went 101, 102. Amazing episodes. But more importantly, Naina,
Yes.
what's been happening?
Well, oh my god, this week has been ridiculous in terms of BTS showing their love to us and giving us gifts. And those gifts are in the form of many live streams. Like, many. Wait, I think we have the list. It's so long. So Ines, who is amazing, has actually dated everything, so we know when it all happened.
Thank you.
So the first... Wait, no, is this in order?
Yeah, it's in order.
Yeah, it is. Okay. It is
Oh,
in
wait,
order.
no.
It is in order.
Wait, no. Yeah, it's in order. Sorry. Doubted myself there.
I know, I doubted myself as well. Was that all in the same day?
Yes!
Crazy. Okay, so on the 23rd of April, we got Namseok, so Namjoon and Hoseok did a V-Live where they were decorating army bombs, and we had a little guest appearance from JK.
Finally, a crumb of JK.
So
It
JK
literally
stands.
was, but yeah.
you got a little crumb of JK that day. We also had Yoongi's Twitter Q&A, in which he took questions, and everyone was like, "What's gonna happen?" But we'll get to that later. We then had JK posting a little video of boxing because, of course, if you did watch the Namseok V Live, you would have seen JK making an appearance in a nice little outfit with cute little shorts on.
He was prepared.
He did mention. Oh, he was prepared. He did mention that he was boxing that day, and he delivered with the proof and posted a video on Twitter of him boxing.
He really took that meme, pics or it didn't happen, to his heart. He was like, I've got to let these people know.
But yeah, so JK stands. Finally, we get a little piece of JK. It's been a while, hasn't it? After that, we got Tay Tay FM. Keep in mind, guys, all of this was in the same day.
It was insane.
I refuse to believe
that was all in the same day. The 23rd of April. Oh my god. So Tay Tay FM, well, there was Tay Tay FM 1 and Tay Tay FM 2 because it just like cut out because I think Tay broke V Live because it's Tay.
Oh my god, it was so funny. We were all saying, like, on Twitter, it was like, don't look at us that way, don't look at us that way, and then V Live just cut out.
And then it really did
oh.
end.
That V Live was honestly... It shouldn't have been legal. The way he was staring at the camera, the way he looked was just...
The way he was singing into the microphone. Oof.
We were live texting as it happened.
Yeah.
And we were like, why is he staring at the camera like that? And then it ended. And we were like, wait, what just happened? He literally just left.
He broke the internet, literally.
So, 23rd of April, a day that will go down in BTS history, but 24th of April, another day for the history books, because Min Sugar Augusty Yoongi decided that he is an artist, he is a painter. He took out a canvas the whole same height of himself and started going to town on it. Now, I was shook, because I was like, okay, Yoongi. Yes.
I don't want to interrupt you or anything, but like, since the 24th of April, has Banksy said? I was gonna say August, but April. Has Banksy made a sound, made a peep?
Do you know what? You're right. Ever since Yoongi put his brush on that canvas, Banksy's been real quiet out here.
Artist world
Bob Ross has been real silent, you know.
Oh.
I mean. Legendary Bob Ross, unfortunately, is no longer
Bob.
with us. But oh my god, Bob Ross gave birth to Min Yoongi.
Oh my god! Can we mention how we sat and watched? It was like 9 a.m. We sat for an hour and a half and watched Yoongi paint and speak 2 words.
Yeah,
for like
barely
2 hours.
speaking, but it was so therapeutic.
There was like so many people just watching him paint.
I love that. Paint a blue block. I'm waiting for the ending results, Yoongi. Don't keep us waiting.
He said he was going to post them. As of our recording date, the 2nd of May, we are still yet to see the end result of Yoongi's
Receipts.
paint.
Maybe he knows. Maybe he knows it's like too beautiful for us to handle. He's like, nah, you're not ready.
Maybe it's too much of a spoiler.
Yeah. Ooh.
Yeah, ooh, we'll get to that later. But can I just quickly add, before I move on from Yoongi painting,
Of course.
is that his outfit
Oof.
in that live?
Oof.
He looked
Oh
so
my God.
cute.
Oh my
He
God.
literally looked like an exchange student in Paris who's obviously an artiste, and he was just on his way from the early morning bakery getting his baguettes, his croissants,
Baguettes.
his pain au chocolat into the art room, and he was like, yes, today is the day that I paint my first masterpiece. You're ready. And I support
He
it.
looked like an Animal Crossing character.
Any
So
Animal
cute.
Crossing players out there? Hey. Yoongi, the fit was immaculate. Well done.
Amazing. Truly.
Amazing.
I love that.
Now, keeping Yoongi. Oh, nah, guys. Like Yoongi in the. Let's just stop for a minute. I know we've been speaking about Yoongi for a while. Let me just get one little sentence in. Yoongi in the last like couple of months really has been crazy with content.
I love it.
Any Yoongi stans will know that Yoongi has not delivered in a lot of content in the past couple years, but this year, every day a selfie, every day tweets, every day. So speaking of every day, that happened on the 24th with the Yoongi ASMR painting.
Indeed.
On the 25th, we got Yoongi's, was it Shup FM?
Yeah, something like that. Bless him.
his little Yoongi FM, where he answered all the Q&A questions.
That he got, and he played a little songs, like proper DJ set out here. I was like, wow.
Yeah.
Like, wow.
That was
My
really
guy
fun.
is not only coming for Picasso's job, but he's coming for the radio industry's job. He's taking all
I
the
couldn't
jobs.
name a single radio presenter, but
Same.
all of
I
you,
was trying to think.
all of you
I
are
was
done
trying to
out
think
here.
of one as well.
Same. Sorry, radio presenters, if you're listening, but we're
Annie Mac
Greg
has been
James.
real silent
Greg James
since
has been-
Yoongi.
Annie Mac, Greg James.
Where are y'all? Nick Grimshaw,
Anyone
where are
outside
y'all?
of the UK is going to be like, who the hell are these people?
But yeah, do you know what? Even though obviously we don't speak Korean, like we're not fluent in Korean, so we don't really know. And even though like watching a V live, you know like 5, maybe 2% of what's happening.
going on?
But there's a lot of visual cues. However, listening to like just audio is very difficult because you have literally no idea what's happening. But we still all listen to the whole thing because Yoongi's voice is just so therapeutic. And
Calming.
whenever I heard
Yeah.
It heard a word that I knew, I was
Me
like,
recognising the word chonan every 20 minutes.
Chonan, Nanan, Korean
Literally,
queen.
I was like, while listening to it, I was like, you know shit all in Korean, girl. You need to go back to lessons because clearly,
Yeah, my Korean lessons
You've
are
gassed yourself
obviously not paying off.
thanks,
Oh,
Min
dear.
Yoongi. Thanks, Min Yoongi, for letting me know I'm a failure. But it's okay. I still love you.
Yoongi's kind of like 0 or 100.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's kind of like, I'm not going to post at all. And he won't do it.
Or
But
I'm
if
going to
he's like,
post
I
every
will
day.
post every day, he will do it as well.
Mm.
Like, how has he been posting so much recently and feeding
I don't
us
want to talk
so
about
much
it. I don't want
content?
to talk about it.
I love that for
And then
us.
think back to like before, he wasn't posting anything.
Anything.
Nothing.
So it's very like,
Nothing.
Well,
yeah.
I think it's also because he said something today, spoiler for the next bit, but he said that he's like no longer angry about the Miss Rona situation and he just wants to spend as much time with us as he can. So I think that's why he's so like willing to do whatever.
King
Yeah.
just wants to paint.
He does. Paint, do his little radio show. I love that for him. He's living his best
I know we
life.
spoke, we've just literally been speaking about Yoongi for like a solid 10 minutes. But Yoongi has been really active, so I'm
Thank
sorry
you.
that there's too much
I'm
Yoongi, but
Don't
I'm not
apologise.
ashamed.
Don't
I
apologise.
know. Well, I'm sorry for apologising.
We're not sorry. We're not sorry about speaking about Min Yoongi. We're not.
I'll never be sorry about speaking about Min Yoongi.
He deserves all the love and attention.
He's been providing so
Yeah.
much content. How can you not?
This is-
I know.
This is the
mention all of
least
it?
we can do. Give him a 10-minute spot
Yeah.
on this podcast.
Yeah, well, those are all Yoongi specific things,
Mm-hmm.
but Yoongi is still in the next topic that we're going to talk about. He will never go.
This is Yoongi's corner.
This is a Yoongi podcast now, guys. This is a Yoongi podcast. What happened next? Do one of you want to take it away? The most iconic V Live ever.
Jin Min-ki, play Just Dance. Oof.
Oh my god.
Oof.
Oh my god. Shook.
And they were feeling themselves.
Like, I don't think anyone
Oh my god.
Jin Min-gi, right? a trio that hardly ever breathes. But when they do,
In the same direction.
when they do, it's gold. Gold. And this time, Just Dance.
Mad.
I'm not saying, but I'm saying Min Yoongi's dance skills out of this world. Jin's dance skills
Guys.
out of this world.
Guys.
Here we go again.
Jimin's dance skills
I'm
out
sorry.
of this world.
I'm sorry. But
Can't do
can
it.
we just... What was the name of that Daddy Yankee song?
I've completely forgotten.
Oh my god, that Daddy Yankee song.
We weren't ready.
I can't believe they did that. Honestly, we were fed for the next 10 years with just that one dance that they did.
Truly.
And Jin was popping off.
Jin's hips were telling nothing but truths, no lies to be found.
That is Shakira's
His hips
blood
were-
child.
Not telling lies.
When he took that denim jacket off,
Oh, you
was
knew.
serious.
You
No
knew it was
games.
down.
He wasn't playing no games. No games were
he
found.
dashed that denim jacket and he was like, it's my time to shine.
He's gonna find his time.
He was like, number one. He was like, number one.
He said, all the dancing that we did on all those music videos, nothing. This
Compared
is me
to
now.
That was
this
light
current
work.
moment.
It really was, man.
Oh my
What
god,
an
but that was so
experience.
iconic.
Oh my god, and Rasputin.
Oh, Rasputin was so funny.
I don't like. Jin was having the time of his life, and then there was Yoongi and Jimin like injuring each other. Like, some space, please.
BTS are so competitive, like,
They really
no matter what they're doing, no matter whether it's like on Run BTS or something as small as playing Just Dance, they're always out here going the
trying to
hardest
beat each
to the
other.
smallest things.
The sabotage was so real. Oh, I love that.
But yeah, staying within the theme of dancing, we finally got, after like months and months and months, we got a new Hope on the Street on a YouTube stream by Hobie on the 28th.
Yes.
So good. Oh my, just him vibing
I
in the
can't
studio.
believe my guy really had me up at 7 o'clock in the morning on the dot watching him dance. And it was the greatest decision I made to wake up that early.
Who was complaining?
No complaining.
Not
No
a single
complaining.
complaint.
Like, he said maybe like 3 words.
It was
The
enough.
whole hour and a bit stream, and it was more than enough. Like,
He could have said 0 words and people would have
Truly.
still watched.
truly.
He literally, I don't think he said a word until like 20 minutes in.
He didn't.
But honestly, why was I gripped? Why was I hooked? Why were my eyes leaving
The
the screen?
funniest thing was, like, he took at least like 20 minutes to warm up, and everybody in the stream chat was like, why is he taking so long to warm up? And then the dancer half of the stream was like, you do know dancers have to warm up, like, he's not trying to injure himself, like, please, he's protecting himself. It was so funny to watch.
Like, people are complaining. They don't realize that, like, we are watching a pro at work.
Like, he's giving us all his secrets.
I know, secrets were
That's true,
revealed.
All the secrets. Like, he was doing the Tootsie slide, is that what it's called?
Oh
That
my
one.
god, yeah.
Like, he really went all... Like,
Oh my
he went
god.
all in, but he didn't break a sweat. Like, it was effortless to him.
Not a sweat.
Like, he was like,
Oh.
this is just my casual, everyday thing. But y'all be
And then
impressed.
every like 5 minutes he come close to the camera and I'm just like, Hobie, you're too close.
Too close.
I'm getting triggered right now because you're looking a little bit too good right now.
Fine, he was looking fine. Not a little, he was a whole damn 4-course meal out here.
Michelin star Hobie.
Truly. Like, the price tag on that live stream, unattainable.
Expensive.
You're in debt for the rest of
I
your
think
life.
one thing that we might have forgotten to put down is that after Hope's stream, I call him Hope.
You can call him whatever you like.
I'll be.
Jimin, I don't know what day it was. Jimin also did a live stream for like 3 minutes.
Oh,
Yeah, I can't believe we forgot to put that down.
listen.
Yeah, I just realised that
That
we
was
forgot
yesterday.
to write
With
that.
his-
That was literally yesterday.
That was the first.
The 1st of May,
May,
Jimin
yeah.
did a little mini
Oh.
YouTube live stream.
Oh, he really came in looking scrumptious with his bag. He sat down. He was like, I'm production manager. Thank you very much. And I've got
It
to
might
go.
have been 3 to 5 minutes long, but he revealed all
Oh,
He revealed a
in
lot.
those few minutes.
Jimin really spilt the entire beans.
And then he
went
left.
off
and then
on
he
one.
left. And everybody was like, oh, I think he ended it by mistake. He's definitely coming. He was like, nope, that's all you're getting
No,
from me.
Jimin
it.
bounced.
He's like, sorry, I'm a businessman
You
now.
get what you're given.
Do you know what I realised?
What?
I realised that all of their YouTube live streams, because obviously they've now started doing YouTube lives, the YouTube lives are really casual. Like, they just show themselves working. Because Namjoon started off when he was working. Then we had, who was next?
Yoongi.
Yoongi just working on art. Hobie working on dance. Jimin working on lyrics and other things. So this is definitely, mark my words, well, we've all discussed this. This is definitely hints to an upcoming album. Because I guarantee we're only going to see solo YouTubes of just them like chill, wherever V Live is the complete opposite, where like they're
It's a little
basically
bit more
there like
production.
having fun, talking. But there's been very minimal talking in all 4 of the YouTube live streams that we've seen.
Yeah, I definitely think V Live is for like the fun stuff,
Yeah.
like just dance, and YouTube is
Serious.
for
A little
the
bit more
work.
serious.
Yeah.
Because I saw a theory, we've already discussed this, but I saw a theory on Twitter, I can't remember who wrote it, but they were saying, what if their YouTube lives are them giving hints as to what roles they're
I
taking
would not be
for
surprised.
the new album, because they did say that they're trying to do it all themselves.
Yeah.
So like how Namjoon was at the computer doing up some behind the scenes stuff.
Production and
Jimin is
stuff. Doing like he was
production
writing
manager
lyrics
or
and
like director or whatever. Yoongi was like art visuals,
art
or
designer
something.
or something. Yeah.
Well, it might not be true, but like it is quite clever to think about.
Very interesting.
I wouldn't be surprised. Some of the things that Big Hit have done, like the clues that they leave, so tiny, like literally breadcrumbs. So, you know.
We be following all of them.
Oh, we're always
those
following them
Sneaky,
breadcrumbs.
Sneaky little.
Just call me Gretel.
Ooh. Well, they killed a witch, so let's not. Let's not do that.
And moving on
Do
to
not
the last,
stand Hansel and Gretel. Okay.
And lastly,
guys. Moving on to the last slide.
Today, this morning, a little bit earlier on, from our current recording time, Namjoon and Yoongi did a V Live. It was another one of Yoongi's Shup FM, and it was cute.
it was so wholesome.
Yeah.
Oof, they were just like method acting, reading like Korean folk tales, just living their best lives, man. Like discussing.
Namjoon is so funny. His voices,
Listen,
oh my god.
The way he introduced himself onto that V Live, I literally screamed because I was like, "Who is making that sound?" The excitement was too real.
So cute, bless him.
They're so adorable.
Yeah. But I mean, I think that pretty much covers this week in Bangtan.
Yeah.
Woo! There was a lot. It
There
has
was a
been
lot,
a very,
It was
very
a-
busy week.
Content heavy week, but we're thankful. We're not complaining. Bangtan, please take all the rest you need, but also interact with us. We're kind of lonely.
Come back soon.
Thank you.
Miss you.
Thank you so much.
So, starting this week, we are beginning a segment that we would like to make reoccurring, an in-depth look into the defining eras of BTS. We'll be starting from debut to 2014 and begin with the School Trilogy, an era defined by heavy hip-hop and rap influences used to discuss the inner turmoil and dedication to rebellion against external expectations and fulfilling other people's dreams. The beginning of the era is, of course, the beginning of BTS. Their first music video dropped on the 11th of June 2013. The following day, the album dropped on the 12th of June. But the all-important and most special day was, of course, their debut day on June 13th, 2013. The first album that introduced the era and set the precedent for the tone of BTS's debut was Too Cool for School, with the main title track, No More Dream.
To make this section a little bit more structured, we've each taken separate topics so it seems a bit clearer. I'm in charge of the album and its themes. Naina is in charge of music videos and stage performances, whereas Ava will be talking about the styling. I just want to say quickly, if it sounds like we're reading it off script, it's because we've written bullet points just to make sure we don't go sideways, off track,
topic.
derail the conversation.
So sorry if we sound a little bit robotic, but there's a lot of information in today's ep.
Yeah, we wanted to make sure we're not confusing any themes up and stuff, so we kind of bullet pointed it down.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we'll try not to speak like this, but forgive us if we do. Thank you. So yeah, like Naina said, the first album that BTS came out with was Too Cool for School. Initially, it seemed to be purely about saying a big F you to society and the expectations put on them, and this is supported by the heavy, dark tones of hip-hop. But as the album goes on, it starts to turn a little bit more inspirational, a little bit more lighter. It's essentially a message to the younger generations to tell them not to follow other people's plans for their own lives and take control of their destiny.
Heavy.
Heavy, very heavy. So I'm just gonna speak about some of the songs, not all of them, otherwise we'll be here forever. The album starts with We Are Bulletproof Part 2. It was like a big introduction into the industry. It was letting all the other contenders know, listen, what you think is art and what you think is music is nothing compared to what Bangtan are going to release. So be warned. Be warned now.
It's true.
And you can see that in lines like, throw a stone at me if you've done as much as I did. We go hard, we have no fear. So clearly Bangtan are very confident in their abilities and you should be shook.
Shook.
And now, No More Dream, the title track, the song that they used to explode onto the K-pop industry. It's essentially them just talking about the dreams that they have for themselves and how they're gonna get through the obstacles put in front of them. And also there's a little section in Yoongi's verse where he talks about saying how he didn't have a dream, and if you don't have a dream, that's okay also, but don't follow what other people are telling you to do just because you don't have one currently. So I thought that was a really good message, especially for the younger generation.
That's one of my favourite things ever that Yoongi has said, among the many things that he has said.
It really is.
I think that's really inspirational, because you always get told when you're a kid that you're meant to have a dream.
Yeah.
And, you know, you have to follow that dream and do everything you can to achieve it. But it's like, some people really don't have a dream. And not that it's, like, sad or anything, but, like...
It's okay.
It's okay, and I think that society should start accepting that to be okay.
And sometimes your dreams just come later to you in life when you've had more experience and like grown into the person that you're meant to be. That's okay also.
Yeah.
You know, we're all here for all different walks of life, as Bangtan would say.
It's okay.
Then they actually switch up the album midway through interlude and like, so it goes into a little bit more like soulful R&B tones, and this is really where like vocal lines shine. So for the song Like, this is where they're discussing how a breakup has affected them and how like stalking your ex on Twitter or on Instagram is not a good form of moving on, because it makes you miss them all. So if anyone's going through a breakup, listen to Bangtan. Don't stalk your ex. Block them. And then we go into the beginning of the ciphers. Outro cipher. Iconic, truly. It's a little bit, this particular cipher is a little bit less structured than the other ciphers, so it seems more like a natural conversation, and it's just them like messing about and talking about like, once we reach success, this is what we're gonna do, and I can't wait to have this much money and have these type of clothes. So it's a little cocky, a little arrogant, but we love that for them because they believed in themselves.
We do.
So yeah,
they were speaking their future into existence, and look what happened.
That shit, and boy did they
manifest.
And then
and they never gave up, which is a massive thing to
Amazing.
know.
We love that for Bangtan. And then, in case you don't have the physical album, I feel like everybody should listen to their hidden track called Path or Road. It's a really emotional song about them looking back on their past and how their choices led them to be idols and what they hope for the future. So it's a really nice song to end up the album with.
So moving on into the styling. So for No More Dream, or just this era in general, it was a very heavy like rap hip hop theme.
Yeah.
Like they kind of wanted to be different than all the typical idols. They wanted to be different from that scene, so they went with the hip hop look.
Yeah.
Their concept photos was all like black and white themed clothing. A lot of knee-high socks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
BTS written on them.
A lot.
As iconic as they were, I hate it. A lot of bandanas and like bandana designs, I guess.
Bandanas everywhere.
A big thing to notice, Jimin wore a lot of cut-off shirts.
Yeah.
A lot. One that I remember specifically being the mesh one that he wears in that Bangtan one. Yeah. If you know what I'm talking about, you know.
You guys know. If you know, you know.
At this era, what I didn't really like was Hobie's mask.
Yeah.
It's such an unnecessary thing to have, and I'm sure at the time it seemed cool and probably very like different to see. I don't think many other idols do something like that, but
Hobie's too pretty to have a mask covering his face.
But it was iconic.
I'm pretty sure he said he didn't even like it anyway.
He didn't.
Namjoon also wore a lot of glasses.
Yeah.
Did anyone even know what he looked like?
No one knew what he looked like for like a year.
My guy was forever wearing glasses. What's up with that?
I think he was trying to like seem mysterious and cool, you know?
Yeah. Well, that's it. Like, this was all part of the look that they were going for, and they did succeed in it. But, like, you'll see later on with the eras that they grew up out of it and into their own style. One thing to notice, you'll notice that they had a lot of, is bling. And, keyword, fake gold bling.
Yeah.
Too much of it. Too much.
I think they were wearing a lot of $3 chains. If anyone knows that reference.
We're not me and Amy would like to say we're not part of that.
I don't
Thank you
like
very
it.
much.
I don't want to hear that. Yoongi wore a lot of beanies. Sometimes a bandana under a beanie. Namjoon had his hair permed. That's all I'm gonna say on that. Hobie had like a mini mohawk that he had styled up.
Love that.
Jin, Tae, and Jungkook had sort of like basic down hair, like facing down, kind of messy. Tae was the only one with unnatural, I guess, hair color.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because the rest of them was brown and black, and he had like sort of an ashy blonde color. Poor baby Jimin had Justin Bieber hair.
The coconut
no.
TM.
The coconut Justin Bieber hair.
Truly.
But that's in his past, and we'll leave
Yeah, we've
it
come
there.
a long way.
But moving on to music videos and live performances.
Yes. So, obviously we start off with the No More Dream music video. I mean, it was the first music video. It's pretty iconic in the fan base. So the music video is them on a school bus, and then they like crash the bus, and they get out all gangster. RM introduces them. This is really cute, and then we see the dance. Like, it was one of the first MVs I saw when I got into BTS, and even though it's old and the styling can come across a little bit cringy, when you look back these years later, I mean, I don't really have anything negative to say about the MV. I think it was really good, and I think Big Hit did a good job with the first MV. It was a great introduction to BTS.
They really stood out with that MV, I would say, because I think around that time nobody was being as I don't think aggressive is the right word, but as in your face, this is who we are, unapologetically, take it or leave it, and it was great. I enjoyed it.
Yeah. Especially with the hair and makeup tying into how they had their music videos and stuff. It was very different from what I've seen normally from debuts and stuff like that. It was very, this is our style, we're trying to be different. Not in a we are definitely trying to be different. Yeah, try-harding it. But it was kind of fresh and new.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure that they probably stood out quite a bit from all the other idols at the time.
Yeah.
Which is it's great for a debut. You want to
that's
stand
what you
out
want
from
to
the
do.
crowd. You don't want to just fade into irrelevance. So moving on to their live stages. Well, I mean, No More Dream was their debut, so we might as well focus on their debut stage. So they debuted on M Countdown. And I don't know if everyone knows this, but BTS were really lucky to actually have the performance that they did. So initially, they were apparently supposed to do a smaller performance. I think they were only supposed to do one song, which was No More Dream. But then someone pulled out. So they were actually able to do a little bit of a longer performance, which is amazing. Incredibly lucky, especially for an artist coming from such a small label. Like, this isn't anything common. They actually refer to this on a secret track. If any of you have Love Yourself Her, if you have the CD, just like what Ines touched on earlier on, they hide a lot of tracks in their CDs, and they have a secret track after the outro, and it's called See. And there's a lyric in the track where it says, "Somebody's empty spot is our dream." And that is, of course, referring to that situation that they were luckily able to be in. So that's amazing. Their debut stage is fantastic. The only negatives I could say is that if you watch the Bangtan bomb of their debut day, Jin gets really upset because he has an unfortunate wardrobe malfunction where his trousers or shorts like fall down they kept falling down because of the mic pack. And obviously, I can imagine the stress of debuting was probably like a lot, and obviously it took over.
Yeah, and you want it to be perfect. So he's probably probably more disappointed with himself, bless him. Not that he needed to be, but it's okay, Ginny. You did amazing.
Ginny. But it's so cute. But like they did fantastic, and their debut stage is iconic. And we were actually quite lucky enough that last year we got to see BTS reacting to their debut stage. If you haven't seen it, it's somewhere on M Countdown's YouTube channel. Just search in BTS reacting to their debut stage. I think it was for the 600 episode. So some parts they were kind of cringing at their debut, but obviously we know that their debut was amazing. But there was this one story that I really, really, really loved, and it kind of made me feel some kind of way. And it was when Yoongi basically says that he ran into G-Dragon. If you don't know who that is, he is the leader of Big Bang. And G-Dragon said that he liked Yoongi's top. And Yoongi was like, cool. And then G-Dragon was like, where did you get it from? Now, obviously, BTS were rookies. Big Bang were at like the height, of their career at that time. So Yoongi was like, I'm wearing a really cheap jumper. I do not want to tell G-Dragon where it's from. Now, the jumper was actually a $14 jumper that had just had an iron-on print on, and he was too ashamed to say, so he said he didn't know. But it's such a cute little story that we got for the first time last year, and just something that happened on their debut, so I thought it was a nice little thing to bring up.
Nice little hidden gem.
Yeah.
I actually didn't know that thing about someone dropping out, so that's why they got to perform.
Yeah, so there was a cancellation in the schedule, so they were so lucky because they would have only been given like 5 minutes. And the thing is with Korean music shows, like people debuting, sometimes they will like go to the show to debut, and the TV network will be like, "Oh, we don't have space for you."
Yeah, it's really bad. And the more airtime you get, like the better it is to draw in fans. So clearly,
100% better.
See, this is kind of like, that's why I feel like everything with like Bangtan has been so perfect,
fated,
and like not coincidentally perfect, but like that whoever it was dropping out. Them getting extra time. I think all of it, like, fate,
yeah,
bro.
it's destiny.
It's definitely fate.
There's no other explanation for why, like, 7 complete strangers get on so well beyond just the music.
Moving on to the next phase of the era.
So the second phase of the era is launched by the mini album, Oh Are You Late Too? And the title track was No. So in terms of the styling for this, it's kind of sort of the opposite of the other styling, because they went more into white outfits and like white clothing. They still had the same knee-high socks though in many videos.
They did not let them go.
But like the concept photo, instead of being like mostly black clothing, it was white. They still had their gold jewelry though.
Of course.
They never got rid of that.
Nope.
But you do notice that it's, most of the time it's a lot less. Like, there was some videos where they were wearing a lot of gold jewelry, but it went down a lot. Namjoon finally took off his glasses. We saw what he looked like.
Finally.
Yoongi wore a lot of bandanas, not as much beanies anymore. And his hair was actually a chocolatey brown colour, and he had it sort of curly. Jimin was still wearing cut-off shirts.
Of course.
This kind of whole, like, few eras from the beginning is a lot of Jimin in cut-off shirts.
Yeah.
They had red and white outfits to match their album cover. Hair-wise, Jin sort of just had the brown hair swooping down. June had black hair and a mohawk this time. I think he got rid of the perm. He had the sides shaved, though, and he had Liz's little mohawk. Hobie had his head down, so he changed it up a bit. Jimin still had the coconut hair.
Jimin really got the short straw of the style in this era. Bloody hell.
Tae actually, again, had different hair colour. He had sort of a pinkish brown. I think it was like pink. Sort of purple, I guess. I don't really know. There's not an exact colour to that. But he started with his hair down. But then I think towards the end of the era, he started styling it up. And that's the same with Jungkook.
I love that
Yeah.
for them. So the album's theme, again, it was quite similar to Too Cool for School. Obviously, this was a mini album, so the themes were quite similar. Interestingly enough, in the album intro, Namjoon has like a little speech that's inspired by a life event of his that inspired him to carry on rapping instead of like become an academic or like a businessman. He also advises listeners to like take all the chances that are given to them, like have no regrets in life, like do whatever you can do to like reach your dreams and goals, and if it doesn't happen, well, then at least you've tried and you won't have regrets in life. So pretty good message.
No regrets.
Thanks, Namjoon.
Oh
Oh.
No regrets.
No regrets in this house. And then the title track, No. This one, they really weren't playing again. They took this opportunity to be a little bit like socially aware, like politically aware. They really called out society and Korean society in particular for pressuring young people to be successful no matter what. Like, you have to be successful in school, you have to be successful in uni, you have to be successful in later life. Like, there's no if, buts, or maybes.
Yeah.
But here Bangtan are letting people know, like, yeah, be successful, but be successful on your own terms. Like, do it for your own dreams. Don't be socially conditioned to be a sheep.
Ooh.
And in one of Namjoon's lines, he says, "They say I'm on my way to happiness, then how do you explain my unhappiness?" That speaks volumes. And then Yoongi comes back and says, "They trap us in borders, the adults. There's no choice to consent." So they're really saying, like, society is making you be this way, but if you're unhappy and it's not what you want, then throw it out of the window. Be your own person.
Dash it.
Dash it away.
Dash it out the window.
Dash it away. Again, in the middle of the album, they really shook up the structure. They used "If I Ruled the World" and "Coffee" to bring a little bit of like youthful R&B-ness. Like, Vocal Line was living their best life. "If I Ruled the World" was like them showing their confidence and saying, like, when we've become successful, aka rule the world, I'm going to be rich, I'm going to have as many clothes as I want, I'm going to look after my family. Yoongi said, "I'm playing my music and my music only, and you will like it." Love that from him.
And once again, speaking it into existence.
They really knew what they were doing. Like, I wonder, their minds amazes me. And then in Coffee, the sweetest little
Coffee.
song. They used the metaphor of coffee to explain how they would approach relationships. So Namjoon says, "Cold and bitter aftertaste," to highlight how he feels being away from his significant other. And "Baby, you're a caramel macchiato" is saying that, like, the person is like this sweet, comforting, indulgent being that they can't get enough of. And I love that for them. Oof.
And who doesn't love a caramel
Who
macchiato?
doesn't love a bit of
Starbucks
coffee?
have been real silent since coffee came out.
Starbucks is out of business. Bangtan coffee is the way to go.
Starbucks who? Bangtan
They shut down
coffee.
Starbucks.
Shut down. And then hip hop part 1. I mean, sorry.
Hey!
Sorry, I meant Cypher part 1. I was reading two things at once. This is where the ciphers get real.
Ooh,
Not only were Bangtan angry, not only were they frustrated
vexed.
at people saying, you are not real rappers, this is not real hip-hop, they said, really? Really? We're not real rappers?
I'll show you.
Then
rapping.
how are my skills superior to yours? How have my songs impacted not only the idol scene, but the Korean hip-hop scene? Tell me that. Tell me that.
Oh gosh.
And
innit?
tell me that they did. Oof, Cypherbot. Sorry, I really love the ciphers. Like, they do something to my soul. And then they had a little bit of fun with Attack on Bangtan and Paul Do Gangson. Said that very bad.
Or
we're gonna-
Satori rap is
We're
otherwise
going to
known
call it
as.
Satori rap because Korean is not my forte, but that's all right. This was a little funkier. They like still had the hip hop, but they brought like a little funky guitar, some trumpets. They were just having fun. They were just like, if you're hyped,
such a
if you
fun
just
song.
love our songs, get with it. And then the Satori rap, they're like, we're representing our hometown, Daegu, Busan, Gwangju, Seoul. They're like, yes. And then they end it off with a little love ballad in School in Love, and it like foreshadowed the next album, but it was really cute. Yeah.
Very cute.
So, talking about the major comeback of this specific era, is, of course, No. So, the MV to No is kind of like a dystopian world. So, BTS are students, they're in class, and they're being heavily watched and monitored by people, the others. They are then given a pill, which is supposed to control them. Any of you that have seen the movie Matrix, you may see similarities there. Now, around midway through the MV, you will see that the effects of the pill work off, and JK is the first one to break out and basically start to rebel against the authority. So they make their way to freedom. As you can see, they walk out and they're in this big white room at the top of this staircase, and they're free. Well, for what it seems like they're free for like, a short while. But actually, they weren't, and they got attacked again. But luckily, Bangtan came on top, and they were able to win the final battle. Defeat the people controlling them. Weirdly enough, there's not that many live stages of No. I don't know if it's just because they're old, so like YouTube isn't showing them like high up on the search list, but I was like searching, I found like 2 live stages, but it's also a little bit annoying because they released On, which is the opposite of No, and it's
So the algorithm
like overtaking the
gets confused.
searches. Yeah. So I couldn't find that many. I literally found a couple, but yeah, it's a very choreography heavy song, and it was their second major comeback after their debut, and it was a banger.
It was really good. Like, everybody say no. Sorry, Bangtan, I won't sing.
That's a banger of a
Ines.
tune.
Sorry.
No.
Okay. I won't sing no more, but like, am I doing the hand gestures? Yes, I am. Banging.
You can't see.
It really held
Hands are
up.
up
It
right
really
now.
held up against time because
Still a banger.
I can visually like go through the entire music video in my head. Iconic, really.
And also we got a performance of it last year, at the end of last year, at the
Yeah, we did.
which award show was it?
I don't know.
One of the award
They've gone
shows.
to too many awards.
Yeah.
Love that for them. And the concluding chapter of the trilogy is introduced with School Love Affair. Now, for this mini album, they have a standard version with the title track Boy in Love, and a special edition with the title track Just One Day. Tunes. In comparison to the previous 2 albums, this takes like a very light, more fun, more like youthful tone. It's more about admiration than being like aggressive and frustrated. So I feel like Bangtan really felt like solidified in their place in the industry. Like they were starting to get a little bit more comfortable. So they were like, let's change things up. Let's show the people, let's show the girls we have range. And range they did.
Range.
Now, an iconic song, Miss Right. Miss Right.
Yes. You're my Miss Right.
Truly. It's more like a melodically chilled song. It describes what the members look for in their respective significant others, and the iconic line, Converse High. comes from this MV. It's a tune. It's a bop. We love that for them. Again, the next couple of songs are more slow, more sultry, more like stylistically, they're more like romantic based. So that's cute. And then the title track, Boy in Love. Wow, where to begin? How to digest this song? It's still very like lighthearted, but it's got undertones of like a little darkness, a little depth. Like I would say it's a dark chocolate of songs.
Ooh,
you know?
okay.
Like when you're feeling a bit rich, a bit fancy. Having said that though, the lyrics of the song are quite sad. It's a little sad because they're talking about how they're confused. Like, you know when you go through secondary school and you're like, yeah, I don't like boys, I don't like girls. Like, I'm about having fun.
I don't like no one.
And then all of a sudden, romance.
Badoof.
Bam. Feelings.
Like, where did these feelings come from? And now I've got to court this person, but I'm a little bit cocky because I know I'm the hot shit, but I'm a little bit shy. And that's basically what
Sounds like personal experience.
I mean, we're not going to call each other out. We're not going to call each other out. But I really felt that song speak to me. Like, boy in love, girl in love, person in love. I felt that. Love that for them.
Hey, we in love.
Oh yeah, everybody's in love. Bangtan made love happen.
We out here in love.
Bangtan, truly. Before Bangtan happened, nobody knew what love was.
Honestly, they invented
I
love.
can't
LUV.
believe Bangtan invented love.
They invented a whole, like, neurological
Emotion.
sensation. I love that. Scientists love that for them.
Kings, BTS.
Do. Iconic. And then the title track for the special edition, Just One Day. Oof.
Yes.
Oof. It goes back to them being a little bit, like, sweet. A little bit, like, cutesy. But again, it's quite a sad song because they're explaining, like, the sacrifices that they would put in place, like they would go through just to spend one day with the person they really care about. So I thought it was quite cute. Tomorrow it focuses on talking about how being hardworking and putting the dedication is really great to achieve your dreams, but it's also important for you to like be flexible. If something doesn't go your way, it's fine. Take a break. We figure out how to do it. And one of my favourite lines is, follow your dream like breaker, even if it breaks down, don't ever run backwards, never. So it's basically saying, you can fall, you can let it break, but never stop trying. So I love that for them. And now, the funness.
Hey!
The funness, the hype of the album.
Hype
Cypher
is
Part
back.
2! Cypher Part 2!
Hey.
Oh, you thought Cypher Part 1 was them dissing people. Cypher Part 2, now.
Game over.
If you're not knowledgeable about a certain incident that happened with certain rappers, Rapline got disrespected.
I'm angry.
Beyond means. And to this day, I'm ready to ride out.
It's honestly
angry.
outrageous how amazing the rap line in BTS is.
It really is. It really
I
is.
just
So
had to
good.
throw that in there.
But I think Cypher Part 2 really, it really solidified them as, being amazing. Because they were like, you're going to hate on me, that's fine. You're going to discredit my skills, that's fine. That's absolutely fine. All because I wear makeup.
Something else that I love about them is the fact that the incident in which, triggered this, which if you know, if you don't,
We
don't wanna be
might
angry,
cover
don't look
it
for
in another episode.
yeah,
But
maybe we could talk about it.
I'm pretty
But
sure there's threads on Twitter
There's
about
loads
it
of
for
threads
new armies.
everywhere. But it's just the sheer fact that they were sat there being absolutely ridiculed and disrespected in front of many people and just taking it. Like, they just took it. They didn't fight back. They were dignified. They just took it. And do you know what they said? Yoongi and Namjoon literally said, that's fine. I'm taking all of this in. Cuss me, come for me, drag me, because I'm about to end your life and your career through one song.
Well, and Hobie, all three of them, Namjoon, Yoongi, Hobie, they really, their level of intelligence to recognise that these people insults were just their insecurities, coming out. And they said, fuck your insecurities, you want to play hard? Let's play hard. Let's do it like artists. And they won, silent. I've not heard a single disrespectful tone from anyone ever since. And that's when
Nothing.
That's what you call an artist.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, moving on. Spine Breaker. Queen has arrived. Sorry, I just really love Spinebreaker.
The best music video that they've ever made. Spinebreaker.
Iconic, really. Like, low budget wear. All I saw was riches.
Budget, riches, money.
Truly. Okay, I really like Spinebreaker because, yet again, it's another like social commentary on how society and its followers are to blame for the inequalities and injustices that everybody faces. And if that doesn't scream intelligence and self-awareness, I don't know what does. But yeah, specifically they're talking about how the educational system and students are more focused about like fitting in and looking the part and having all these accessories and being up to date with the trends, that they're willing to put their parents through such hard work to the point that their spines break, which is a Korean saying, just to fit in, and that's not right.
It's not.
And I appreciate that. And then they come back to a little bit of like funness with Jump. This is like, I would like to call it like a rebellion anthem where they're saying, if you don't want to follow society's pressures, if you don't want to follow expectations, you're going to create your own path, then join us, because that's the path we're on. That's what we're going to do.
Whenever they perform this live, it's
so
always
much fun.
The funnest
Yeah.
So
song.
fun.
Like, they have so much fun. The crowd has so much fun. Literally, everybody jumps.
It's just so energetic. Like, I love
It's
it.
amazing. It's amazing. And then little old vocal line come off with outro purpose, a little nice little R&B song, a little ooh ooh ooh, look at our vocals, so, letting us know that they'll give us anything and everything and the entire universe, and I really appreciate that from them. So thank you, Bangtan, for the experience.
So, again, I'm going to talk about the MVs and a couple of live stages. So, we're going to start off with Boy in Love. So, again, of course, the MV is school themed because it fits perfectly within the era. So, it seems that they all like a girl, which, as if any of you are K-pop stans, you'll see it's just a trope in all K-pop videos. It's always like everyone and like one person. Like all the boy group is after one girl. So, some of the things about this MV, some people find this MV slightly, like, they don't like it that much.
Questionable?
It's not a lot of people's, slightly questionable. It's not a lot of people's favourite MV, mainly because, I mean, I don't blame BTS, I mainly blame the direction they were given, but Yoongi and Jin especially were a little bit aggressive with the actress. It was not intentional, because if you watch the Bangtan Bomb of them making the music video, you'll see that the scene that I'm like probably comes straight to mind is where Jin like slams the girl against the locker. You'll see that immediately after he's like bowing and apologizing.
He's so
to her.
concerned, bless him.
Yeah, he really didn't want to do that, but obviously that's on direction. Like I'm sure BTS didn't want to attack this girl. But anyway, they were yeah, so they were a little bit aggressive, but you know. That's just what happened. We move. Besides that, it gets kind of cute towards the end after Jin has like dragged this girl into like a room, into like the gym. You then see vocal lines serenading her. It's kind of cute, the bit when they kind of like all around her and singing. It's nice. Like, it's a nice little MV. Cute. No complaints. Cute. Love the choreography. Great MV. We move.
Love the styling.
Yeah. So we're gonna touch on just the one. We're gonna touch on just one day, which is like literally the opposite when it comes to their like previous MVs, especially in comparison to Boy in Love, which is kind of like rough. But
Oh my god.
did I just bark?
Bangtan
God,
really got to
humiliating.
her this era. Like,
Jungkook has been real quiet since Naina barked.
Anyways, so the whole choreography is on chairs. It's a chair choreo. Ooh. It's really mellow and chill. Personal favorite, like, to do with that specific song is obviously for all their songs they have their dance practices. So they have like a regular dance practice to just one day, but then they have this like appeal version, which is just
so
frankly
cute.
A mess. It's cute, but it's also a mess because in that version,
True.
Tay Taeyoung is literally just cracking up. No one knows what made him laugh so much. But if you watch it, there's so many cuts, and they never usually have cuts in their dance practices, but there's like cuts every minute, and it will cut, and then Taeyoung will be like red and crying. And I'm like, what happened? What happened? But yeah, that is great. We love it. And again, great stage performances. So nothing to complain about. We love, we stand, we move. Now, what's their fit saying, Ava?
So moving on to their outfits. So the Boy in Love and the Just One Day outfits are quite like the opposite. I'd say the Boy in Love is still like black, dark clothing, maybe white shirts underneath. They sort of moved away from the R&B look to more school uniform look in this sort of era. Boy in Love is a lot of like blazers, suit trousers, white button-up tops.
School uniform.
Just One Day has got a lot of cardigans.
Yeah.
A lot.
Hello, Cardies.
It's a lot of ties, cardigans, white shirts. One word to describe the difference between like Boy in Love and like all the other eras with like Just One Day is just soft. Like Just One Day is so soft. It's unbelievable. They look like little
baby
cute little boys. That sounds weird. I didn't know how to phrase that one. It went 0 to
cute
nonce real quick. I'd say the difference, like Boy in Love is a lot of edgy school kids look, whereas Just One Day is like, I'm a good boy. I do my homework.
Yeah. To me, I was gonna say, I feel like Boy in Love, they're like the boy gang of the school. Like they make a little bit of trouble. Like they're a little bit saucy.
I'm scared of them.
And then Just One Day, it's just them being like, oh no, I can't be.
They look like they're in a maths club.
Yeah.
In Just One Day.
I can't be late. Class starts in 2 minutes.
Like they're the mathematics, right? Like these cardigans are really giving me that vibe. I love it though. I really, really do like the look that they have for
It's
Just
really
One
cute,
Day, and all the other looks, but like specifically this one because it's so like soft and cute,
and their hair all looks so
calm.
Finally, oh my god! Finally, Jimin was able to breathe. Cover his arms.
So, I guess they had a lot of matching outfits during this time because you can't really make school uniform look
that much different.
School uniform. In their like concept photos and like photo shoots, sometimes it was a lot of blazers and stuff, but sometimes there would be a little leather jacket thrown in there.
Ooh.
Most of the time Jimin would be wearing that. Hair wise, Jimin had black hair and it was sort of facing down and it was quite messy. He definitely got rid of that coconutness.
Thank God.
It was gone.
He said,
we didn't know her. Memory removed. Coconut who? I don't know that fruit. Jin sort of changed his hair because it went before it was down, I'm pretty sure. But now he started styling it up.
Oh, he looks so good.
Jungkook had a hair color change. It was sort of like a dark red, but something they all have in common is it's quite like messy teased hair.
Yeah.
Like fluffy almost.
Like effortless, just roll out of the bed kind of thing.
Why they looked so soft.
Yeah.
Tay had orange hair, which I think Tay was the only person who had different hair, like unnatural. Well, actually, okay, Tay and Namjoon had unnatural hair because Tay had orange hair that was styled down but to the side, and he looked like a little prince.
Cutie.
And Namjoon had again his hair shaved on the sides, and he had silver hair, but this time it wasn't up in a mohawk, it was facing down. So I think this is the first time he started having his hair down. Because even in Boy in Love, he had his hair styled up. Hobie had his brown hair facing down, sort of to the side. And Yoongi had these, like, messy, choppy bangs that were, like,
I remember those,
on his forehead. It was
in his forehead, okay.
In his forehead. It's quite choppy, but it didn't look bad. It ain't up to the levels of coconut.
No, I actually quite liked Yoongi's hair.
I liked it.
Yeah.
Do you know what? I actually think this time for them was actually a good time.
Yeah, like a good.
Especially...
I love it. Like I feel like Tae's hair looked amazing in Boy in Love.
Yeah.
But then I feel like in Just One Day, it was a little bit too bright for his skin tone. But orange hair suits him.
I think he looked so cute, and this is one of my favourite Tay looks, because the way that whoever had styled his hair had parted it in a way where it like framed back and showed a little bit of his forehead. And it looked like he looked like a prince. That's the only way I could describe that look.
Fantastic.
Like so cute, so soft.
It was just a soft era, yeah.
So that sort of brings us to the end of this week's episode. We've hoped you enjoyed it, and I hope it wasn't very like
Robotic.
school teaching you
Yeah.
like history. But it is sort of like cool to learn stuff that you didn't know about and to just reminisce on the olden days. You can find us on Twitter, Instagram, Spotify, YouTube, and
Now we're
Apple
on
Music.
Apple Podcasts as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, just search Louder Than Bangtan Podcast or Louder Than Bangtan Pod. You should be able to find us on everything.
Yeah.
Make sure to follow us on Twitter and Instagram.
For little
Please.
updates of what we're doing, we're planning.
So once again, I'd just like to remind you all that we have no affiliation with Big Hit or BTS themselves, and everything that we've said is completely our own opinions and purely for fun.
Have a great week. We've been
Louder Than Bangtan.